Okay, guys, this is Luis. We're gonna start with the lab setup, but before we start with everything, we're gonna be creating a parent disk, which is the most basic item that you should always have when starting or working with the labs on your environment. For that, we're gonna be using Hyper-V Manager, and over here, what we are going to do is basically, before we do that, um, let's create the switches. Switches, as you know, are the way to connect to the virtual machines and to the network. So we're gonna create an external switch. This is gonna be connecting to the internet or to the network. We also gonna be attaching this to the network card on your PC. In my case, I only have one, so it's gonna be connected to that one. And then we're gonna create either an internal or private. There is a difference between the two of them. I am not gonna get into the differences, but in my case and for my preferences, I like creating an internal network. So I'm just gonna create another internal network, and we're gonna click OK. You see that we got an external and an internal network. We're gonna click OK. It's gonna give me a warning telling me that it's gonna disconnect from the network for a second. But we're gonna click yes. It's gonna be applying the changes. Okay, now that the two networks are created, the two virtual switches are created, I should say, let's go ahead and create a virtual machine. Virtual machine, we can call it anything we want. Let's just call it Windows Server 2016. If I learn how to type. Windows Server 2016. Don't worry about the name of this machine because at the end of this video, you're gonna see that we're gonna delete this machine. Generation 2, we're gonna give them 2048 of starting up run. This is used by Windows PE, WinPE to boot up. It has to be a minimum of 2048. You can set it up to anything you want above 2048. Okay, next we're gonna connect it to the internet, to the external network. I like customizing my parent disk. I'm basically only gonna install Chrome and leave it at that just for purposes, for testing purposes. We're gonna create a virtual machine. It's asking me about the hard drive. Again, this is also a preferences. I like making it 250 gigabytes. You will see why in later videos. We're gonna click next, and it's asking us what kind of OS we want to install. We're gonna install from my desktop. I have it conveniently set up an ISO over here for Windows 2016 Technical Preview 4. We're gonna click next, and we're gonna click finish. Now that that virtual machine is created, we're gonna double click it and we're gonna start it. Had to click inside and had to be prepared to click any key to boot from the CD. And if you're in this class, I'm pretty sure you have been installing Windows for a living, or you have been installing Windows in your machines, or you know how to install Windows. I'm gonna walk through it a little bit, and we'll see some differences from previous versions. Basically, same screen, Windows Server 2016, technical preview 4. We're gonna click next. We're gonna click install. And we're gonna go through the wizard. Okay, most of us have seen some installations of Windows before, and of course, if you see here, you're gonna see that we have two options to choose from, two different versions of Windows 2016. Read the description because the description is really, really important. If you choose the technical preview 2016, it's only going to install, as you can see it over here, it says that you're going to install Windows Core. It does not include a GUI, and it's basically as a command prompt, like Windows Core, what Windows Server Core is. If you want to have the desktop experience, which is the GUI, which is the basically the windows that you log in into, you have to install the desktop experience. Again, this is only in 2016. Read the description of the two different OS. If you are an experienced person, you might want to go with the core version. But for most of us, we're gonna be installing the desktop experience on 2016. So we're just gonna go ahead through the wizard. We're gonna accept the license, and we're gonna do a custom install because we have a hard disk that is 250 gigabytes, but it hasn't been initiated, so has to do a custom install. Next, and let the magic happen. I'm gonna pause this over here, and then I'm gonna come back whenever this is done. It shouldn't take long, okay? Okay, guys, as you see, the Windows has already installed. It's asking me to restart the machine. We're gonna go ahead and do that, and we're gonna go through the out of the box experience. Like I mentioned, guys, this is just the out of the box experience. There's absolutely nothing new in this interface. It's just setting up the machine. We're gonna create a password of your preferences. Gonna continue, and if I ever learn how to type, P811 word, P811 word. Okay, that should do it. As you all heard, P811 word is the password that we use for our labs. When it's completed with the pre-checks and everything, it's gonna give us the windows for the login screen. As you can see, this is basically the Windows for Windows 2010. It's exactly the same thing as Windows 2010. But if you see over here, it says press Control Alt Delete, which is telling us that it's basically Windows Server 2016. We're gonna be logging in as administrator with our password. One of the glitches in Windows Server 2016 as of right now is this login screen. This login screen, this black screen is going to be showing for about a minute, maybe a little bit less. It's completely okay. It's already being taken care of by Microsoft. They know about the glitch. So far, it's not a glitch as per se. It's just that it takes a little bit long to log in. Consequence of this is just basically the waiting time, the waiting process. There's another known glitch in the technical preview of Windows 2016, and it's the administrator account. The default administrator account for some reason doesn't let you open. Oh, where did it go? For some reason doesn't let you open uh, Microsoft Edge, which is the default web browser. Without Microsoft Edge, we cannot do anything in the internet. So the workaround that Microsoft has given us as of this moment, like I said, those are the only two glitches. No, not the only two glitches, but the two uh, glitches that they had seen. They know about it and they are working on it. Again, those are the only two that that we are gonna be addressing. Microsoft Edge, I'm personally gonna use it to download Chrome. So I'm gonna create another account. I'm gonna create another account, and we're gonna manage another account, and then we're gonna create a user account. We're gonna give it a name, a password, and of course, let's make sure that everything works. My password hint, of course. We're gonna click next and finish. And to this account, we're gonna make an administrator. Change the account name, change the account password, change the account type. We're gonna make this an administrator account because I need to have administration over there. So we're gonna log this out, and I'm gonna log back in as that user that I just created. We're gonna log back in as that user that we just created. Where's my cursor? Okay. We're gonna select the user, of course, and then we're gonna type our password. Again, the black screen should take about 30 to 60 seconds. After that, every other login shouldn't take that long. All right, and once we are in here, let's just customize this. Let's customize this machine as we want all the others to be. In my case, I like changing the display size, 16 by 900, that's my screen. Yes, I'm gonna keep the changes. I'm gonna go to local server. The name of the machine, don't even worry about it because that's gonna be a new name every time. These couple of options that I'm gonna change over here are actually optionals, but I realize that most of the time I'm gonna be changing in every single machine, so it's better if I just change it over here in the parent disk that I'm created. Remote desktop. I'm gonna enable remote desktop for all of the machines for the parent disk. I'm gonna change the time zone, which should be Eastern time. Gonna click refresh just to make sure that everything took on. Okay, remote desktop enabled, Eastern time. I can close this out. Now I'm gonna go ahead and download Chrome, which is Google Chrome, of course. I'm just gonna do a bin search for Chrome. I like using Chrome, that's the reason why. Well, actually, let's just wait for the download. And there's one last thing that I do like to do, that I like to do on every parent disk that I create. and you will see why in the later videos. Okay, we can close this out once I see the window. Okay, perfect. We're gonna click yes to download, and we can close this out. Okay, that has installed Chrome, as you can see. It's loading everything and it's perfect. Getting started, yes, yes, and then the windows. We're just gonna close this out for a second. Okay, and the last two things that we are gonna change, we're gonna have to go to the local policy editor, and we're gonna go to control panel. Uh, I don't exactly remember where is that, so I'm just gonna click search, and I'm gonna look for the policies, group policy. We're gonna go over here, and these are two settings that I do them for. Is option these two options, they are optionals. Me personally, I like them change. I like changing them. You will see why. The first one is in computer configuration. We're gonna go to Windows settings. Oh, that wasn't it. We're gonna go to administrator template. We're gonna go to system, and we're gonna go to server manager. Do not display server manager automatically a log on. Every time that you log on, every time Windows Server Manager pops up. That is great for some people. For me, in my experience, it's not usable sometimes, so I'm just gonna disable that first instance of Windows Server Manager. Alright, that's the first option that I'm gonna change. The second option is under user configuration. I believe is under administrator templates. Is, that is not it. Windows components. We are looking for the start menu, which is not here. Windows settings. Nope, not there yet. Okay, where are you? Where are you? Where are you? Administrator templates, start menu and taskbar. Okay, perfect. We're gonna sort this out, and we are going to search for the clock. You see this clock over here? I don't like it because you guys can see when I start recording, when I pause, when I take a break, and all of that. So I honestly don't like you guys seeing that. So I'm just gonna remove this clock from the system tray. All right, that should do it for my personal preferences. Again, all of those preferences you can change them in the parent disk, and that will take effect over all over the other machines that you create. All right. Once you customize the machine the way you like it, we're gonna sys prep it. We're gonna go to command prompt. It's gonna ask you for verification. Yes. We're gonna change the directory to sys prep. The way you do this is cd space sis and then tab. It should automatically fill the name of it. So sysprep, and then in this folder we're gonna do the same. SIS control tab and sysprep. We're gonna enter the out of the box experience. We're gonna generalize and do not leave this in. You had to shut down the machine. Okay. Options are enter the out of the box experience, generalize, and shut down. Once that's done, we're gonna click OK, and again, we're gonna let the machine do its thing. Once the machine finish it up, generalizing the machine is gonna shut down automatically. Once the machine is done doing its thing, it's gonna automatically shut down. One is fully shut down the machine, you are safely gonna delete it. Why we're gonna delete it? Because we don't want anybody boot into this machine. You're gonna see that keep you're gonna keep your parent disk over here, whatever you call it, whatever you decide to call it, in whatever folder you decide to save it. You're gonna keep this parent disk over here. It's about 11 gigabytes. It's dynamically expanding. Remember that we set it to 250 gigabytes at the beginning. This is gonna expand to 250 gigabytes as needed. From this parent disk, we can create multiple virtual machines, multiple hard disk, and link it to this one. All right. So basically, that's it for the parent disk creation.